4 minutes for an opening statement.
Well, I thank the Chairwoman for yielding. I'd like to, as well, welcome Chairman Powell back to the committee. Chairman Powell has prioritized outreach to Congress, and members of this body have benefited greatly from hearing his thoughts in February and in individual meetings since then. So we thank you for your return. I know the markets are interested in your testimony, but we as policymakers, too, are interested in your testimony. As I stated at our hearing in February, the economy over the last 2.5 years has witnessed remarkable growth, and unemployment has reached lows that many believe were impossible. Republican-led tax relief and regulatory reform have supported these trends, with millions of Americans benefiting from our policies. We're seeing this in wage growth, we're seeing this in continued job growth, and all Americans are benefiting from this. These benefits continue to endure 5 months since your last testimony. And in the most recent FOMC statement, the Fed concluded that the labor markets remain strong and that economic activity is rising. Job gains have been solid and the unemployment rate remains low. But we cannot take our foot off the pedal. In February, we discussed how the Fed was undertaking targeted rulemaking to provide regulatory relief that allows financial institutions to operate efficiently in the communities that they serve and compete globally as well. I hope that you, Chairman Powell, will continue to work to undertake these efforts with a sense of urgency, especially in the rulemaking category. I also encourage Chairman Powell to maintain his commitment to transparency and proactive communication with Capitol Hill, especially when the Fed is considering changes to its policies and operations. At our last hearing, for instance, the chairman noted that the Fed continues to support its current inflation target. But as we know, there are numerous proposals that would affect how the Fed might pursue that target. I hope that the Fed will approach such proposals with an appropriate level of prudence, given the limitations of central banks' toolkits at this point in our economic cycle, until we fully understand how those limitations have emerged and how they can reliably be overcome. So finally, let me reiterate my concerns shared by the Fed itself, that global economic uncertainty could result in headwinds here at home. Prior to our February hearing, the Fed made clear that Europe and China represent the risks that the Fed would continue to monitor and, where appropriate, work to mitigate. I hope we can touch on those things today. Let me highlight China in particular. When the chairman last appeared before our committee, he noted that the Chinese economy is state-run, but that Beijing has also attempted to make certain market-oriented reforms. I'm concerned that these reforms may not be deep enough. When the world's second-largest economy is a one-party state without the rule of law, without transparent decision-making, where monetary policy and allocation of capital bends to politics and cronyism, where 1 million citizens can be locked up in camps, while another million take to the streets to defend their freedoms, then we all need to focus on that country and its regime as a unique source of risk to the global stability and global growth. So I would encourage the chairman to work with his colleagues, both here and abroad, so that we have a sufficient understanding of China, and as well as a sufficient set of tools within central banks if something were to go wrong. And again, thank you, Chairman Powell, for returning today. Thank you for your responsiveness. Your candor is welcome and encouraged. We thank you for attempting to speak like a normal human being, even amidst very complex financial markets and complex decision-making within our independent monetary policy group called the Federal Reserve. Thank you.